Cloud9, upsetting them when it really mattered. That was in finals, though, not necessarily in the regular season.
Well, one thing in route, obviously removing the Zeri from the table, that is also a flex, but I feel like with C9, it's definitely going to be going to Berserker. It's one of his best champions. And we also see the Renekton going out
you made that point.
Thanatos. These are their two most played champs. I also like recognizing that not only is Contractz a good Ivern player, but Ivern is really, really strong, especially with some of these AD mids that we're seeing in LCK and LPL now that they're also on 14-14. So I like that takeaway from C9.
And then you're going to answer that with the Sejuani. So scared of having that tank frontline. So Cloud9 here. Is it another Nidalee day, Blaber? Check with Reaper here real quick. What's he feeling? Reaper says it is a Nidalee day. Although Flowers, your face looks very disappointed.
I hate this champion, man. Blaber won in spite of Nidalee, not because of Nidalee. Inspired did the same thing last week. I am still unconvinced of NA Nidalee. I'm going to need to see a pop-off performance from Blaber to have any hope in this one. But we'll see, especially with her best buddy, the Lizard, banned away. Nidalee loves hanging out with that Lizard, and now he's not going to be the option for Thanatos, like you said, Kobe. But it's Tristana locked in for energy.
Tristana is something that never went away, even with these big buffs. Nidalee won all her games last weekend. Tristana was doing quite well, too, here. So Palafox locking that one right back up. We'll see what kind of AP options on the side of NRG then. As far as jungle go, Contractz can play a lot of those different AP junglers.
And I mean, locking in the Ashe is nice. Ashe is still incredibly strong. It will allow them to track Blaber really well too, regardless of what we end up seeing Contractz lock in here. And then, the Nidalee is really interesting. I feel like having setup for Nidalee has almost now become a meme in the community about like looking at Nidalee drafts and what she does. But it does kind of stick to C9's MO where they really want to have pushing lanes, Blaber on something where he is heavily farming and then can contribute a little bit later on.
Well, as far as those things that Nidalee does, would you say, Emily, one of them is poke? Because
I would.
They've got an Ezreal as well here. Some annoying poke locked in for Cloud9 with the kind of utility. I really like Gnar as this kind of universal pick. You can blind pick it very, very easily, especially because Cloud9 now have 2 protection bands that they can use for Thanatos. If you are worried about Dhokla playing some of those kill-oriented counters to Gnar, then you can definitely ban those out in the next couple of phases. But they're going to rush it and lock it right in here for the Kennen, which has become super popular, especially in Korea here. Let's see what big Dokes can pull with the Lightning. That also splashes you some AP, so even opens up a little bit more options for Contractz.
Plus, we always talk about how Dhokla likes playing range top in solo queue, and they won't let him play range top. They put him back on a tank. Well, hey, he's playing range top.
And Kennen is one of those range tops that does team fight very effectively. You know, you gotta look for a very good flank, choose your opportunities, teleports and flashes. Obviously, very, very critical there. But Leona could get banned out because NRG don't want to let them pair that Ezreal Nidalee with some sort of other engage. Gnar is pretty good for engage, but usually wants some sort of primary, quicker engage, and so they're a little bit more scared of those supports.
Yeah, and you see Vi getting banned out. I actually really like that as well because I think it's something that Contractz could have a lot of early playmaking with, especially with Sejuani already having been banned out by his own team. Another thing I do want to point out really quickly, not only is Gnar just a stronger pick overall in the current meta that we're seeing, but it is also Thanatos' second most played champion. So he is super, super comfortable on this.
Lucian being banned away from NRG here, respecting the potential for that Lucian flex middle that has come back. I like how we nerfed Tristana and Corki because we're like, we got to get these marksmen out of middle. And the community's response is, we'll just use other ones.
Yes.
Very Lucian, all of these marksmen still a potential possibility here. Last ban of the draft for C9. Still with a couple seconds left to fully think about it. We'll see if they want to layer another jungler on top of this. And yes, the Viego banned away from Contractz.
Unfortunately for the guy in the audience, we won't get any Shen lock-ins this game. The level 400 Shen. Sorry about that one, but let's see what we do go with here. Contractz toying with the idea of a
People
Lee
like
Sin.
the idea of it. The crowd is cheering very strongly.
I think they were cheering the baby, but you know,
Oh,
maybe
that
Lee Sin is very popular. Start that baby on Lee Sin right now.
I know. Maokai.
Start him young.
Maokai is going to be the pick.
Okay, how do we feel about the Maokai here?
I mean, I think Maokai has a lot of setup for the damage you want to come across. Maokai Trist has been a really good combination that we saw even before the current wave of AP jungle. The most interesting thing to me is it's looking like it's going to be an R5 support pick for NRG coming through.
Okay, well, they're going to at least get to see what C9 will lock in for that support role for themselves. It will be Jojo on the Azir, a classic for him. We remember back when Azir was disabled, it was one of those things that people kept talking about, like, would Cloud9 have looked better if Jojo could play this champion?
And it's not that Jojo isn't good on other champions, right? But it is exactly, like, this is pure comfort coming across the board thus far for C9. It's a great meta for them. We've already touched upon it. We're going to keep talking about it. The Alistar coming in for Vulcan to round out this composition that is just, like, C9's best, most comfortable picks.
Yeah, not only is Vulcan good on Alistar, you know, he got Player of the Week last week, but also, it's always really good to have someone to mark a Kennen. Whenever you see an early lock-in Kennen opponent, you always are thinking, who is going to be the person on the flanks? Who is going to be the person bodyguarding us from these big Kennen ultimates? Well, Vulcan says, I will be that person, or I will be that cow, actually, looking for the headbutts, looking to try and screen Dhokla out of these team fights.
And earlier on, whenever I see a team lock in Ezreal, I always love seeing a good roaming support locked in beside it, since Ez is so safe underneath the turret by himself. Vulcan, if he plays this Alistar like he did last week, I can see this not only causing problems in the team fights, but during the laning phase as well, blowing summoner spells, working together with Blaber on this Nidalee to make me not hate the Nidalee pick nearly as much as I currently do. So let me go ahead and ask you guys, we got all 5 champions on both teams here on the screen, 20 seconds left. Which comp are you favoring more here?
I mean, I'm going to go the pure comfort C9 comp. I know you hate the Nidalee.
And I like the rest of it.
I understand why. I just think overall, they're so comfortable on so many of these picks. It's really hard to disagree with them drafting in this.
All right, we're onto the Rift for the first time here in Week 5. C9 versus NRG. Kobe, you're talking about Cloud9's been looking better. I don't know about you. I saw NRG win 2-0 last week. What are you talking about?
Yes, they did, and they played for longer, too, on the Rift.
Yes, sir.
Getting some good practice in there with Barons and multiple Elder Dragons, Dragon Souls. If you missed last weekend, by the way, tune in for some banger fiestas.
We lived through it, so we're prepared now if it goes to that, if it comes to that. One thing I do really want to see from NRG in this game is them to be a little bit more proactive early. We kind of talked about it's not just a jungle thing, but this is their slowdown compared to last summer. This team, when they were like on their come up, I remember tracking their first bloods. I think it was last spring, where it was like always before like 2 minutes or something.
Very early.
Yeah, the Contractz would get involved, and that's what I really want to see from NRG. Like now, I want to see that kind of aggression coming out of them.
Yeah, and the things I would highlight here would be the kills and the deaths in the first 14 minutes that were up there on the stats. That is going to be the big difference maker. It's not even just like getting active. It's getting the kills with not dying. They have definitely had a bit more difficulty with the not dying part for it. Unfortunately, though, as far as the stats go, Maokai definitely does not have the priority over Nidalee early on. And so you do look to play off of some winning lanes, namely Dhokla up there on the Kennen versus Thanatos, going for some early Kennen trades, getting his wave pushing as well. That is going to be a point of power for NRG. Having the Kennen early on into that Gnar matchup, and Contractz and Blaber both pathing up towards the top side of the map.
Ooh, Vulcan in trouble, though. One more auto attack would finish him off. Has to flash away from FBI. FBI also spending the flash of his own alongside Huhi's Ignite to make the play.
Yeah, 2 flashes for 1 here, earned by NRG. So, wow, I'm talking about the top lane matchup. Bottom lane takes things into their hands. FBI and Huhi really trying to abuse the early Alistar. Of course, early Alistar level 1, everybody always talks about how useful it is because you don't have 2 parts of your combo. You only have 1 part. You're
That's
level
not
1.
much of a combo.
It's very hard to combo with 1 ability.
Yeah. The 1-2 punch only has a 1. Feels pretty bad, but hey, at least the wave is going to crash into the turret now for them, so that means that C9 will have a little bit of a breather to try to get some of those levels as NRG will just continue to enjoy their bottom lane priority, placing some vision there in the tri-brush. Palafox going in after Jojo here. Azir doesn't have a lot of mana to work with. He can still fight back better than most mages because you just right-click the guy. But Jojo's not got a lot to work with here in this lane right now.
And Jojo was one of our early adopters of the Tank Azir builds. So Jojo's very comfortable on Tank Azir. And you saw there, he was able to get another grass proc as Palafox was walking away in the extended trade. So
+2.
Constantly getting those grass procs there for him, and he's going to teleport back.
All right, he'll be returning to lane first out of our 4 solo laners. Neither TP needed to be used just yet up here in the top side, as you do see Dhokla, again, being the lane controller here for the side of NRG. They've got both these side lanes under their own control, even the mid lane as well. NRG taking control over all 3 with the early push, as Contractz is just going to hover up here. He knows that Dhokla's pushed up to a point where he could be an easy gank target, so he does not want to allow that Nidalee to come up here and ruin the fun, but of course we know that Blaber is already back in the base. We'll see if Contractz wants to spend any more time up here. Maybe he thinks Thanatos might go a little bit ham, but waiting in this bush a long time.
Yeah, he's going to go back now. We see Blaber coming around on the bot side as they are pinging out. I'm curious to see if there's going to be a fight over this bottom side scuttle, or if Contractz is just going to be able to get it off of the push that they have.
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of assume that Blaber would want to keep on clearing, but he is heading for the gank. And remember that FBI used his flash offensively, so here comes the Hex Flash.
And the ward just expired in the tri-brush there. If Vulcan would have been in range for the combo after the Hex Flash, that would have been a great angle for Blaber, but NRG is far back enough to avoid.
Oh, early spike! Oh, still got it, still got it.
Close, close, man. That was almost the jungler nightmare there.
It definitely was. But Contractz still able to get it with the auto afterwards and invade.
Time for a battle 2v2 between junglers and mid laners. It looked like C9 was able to secure the smite on the large chicken at least, so Blaber happy with that one.
Yeah. Sometimes you will smite a little bit early if your second charge is coming up and you don't want to, waste some extra precious seconds there getting those charges, the efficiency. So Contractz here on the Maokai, just going to have to go back to his own side of the jungle now. And Blaber does have his Nidalee CS lead plus his faded ashes already done here, and he can continue on his clear up there towards top.
And one thing that's really been interesting thus far, seeing coming out of NRG, is the fact that it's been them who have been playing around pushing lanes because of that draft that you already mentioned, Kobe, right? So this is something that we typically see more from C9 wanting to have kind of the push for possibly some invades, easier farming for Blaber. But I think NRG, even with that little invade on the bottom side for harass, I thought that was really nice coming out of them. Again, just because I want to see more proactivity from this team early. Palafox might be in trouble.
Yeah, Palafox is not liking the way this looks. Flash for flash. Blaber wants to chase him. One more auto attack will get it done, and Blaber gets first blood on the Nidalee as Berserker has to get back over the wall here. A nicely placed arcane shift allows him to escape the 2v1.
Flowers, Reaper has decreed. It is a Nidalee day. It's a Nidalee day. You're going to have to like it. That's first blood. That's going to be the Void Grubs too.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Look, I'm a hater, but I will also give credit where it is due, all right? The Blaber Nidalee shows up here for the first blood for C9. The Rift Herald also claimed immediately thereafter, as you said. Not Rift Herald, the Void Grubs. I always see the pit. I always think the Herald. NRG's going to trade it away for the first Drake of the game, though, at the same time.
It's funny because Reaper is such a prolific coach that he's famous for a lot of things, specialty drafts, allowing players to really play into champions that they specialize in. But my favorite thing is his patented brain check at the beginning of games, where he goes down the players and asks them to remember to turn your brain on for the day. And it looks like the brain checks were successful this game as well, as Blaber is able to snowball his experience lead here on Nidalee. Blaber is, in fact, the only one on Cloud9. As I say that, we have a tiny bit of gold for Berserker there taking over as well. But Blaber has the lion's share of the advantage for the Cloud9 side.
Yeah, a couple advantages there in the solo lanes just from those slight leads in terms of CS. Contractz is down here towards bottom lane. That control ward's going to spot him out, so he'll take the extra couple of seconds to clear it away. Level 6 on the Maokai can feel good, but Berserker now losing that cleanse. Immediate arrow from FBI to force the summoner spell away from the C9 AD carry. Now they'll wait for the next one and try to make a play on that.
Out of 10, how smooth was that cleanse? 10 being Captain Jack.
Captain Jack.
Yeah. Out of 10. What do we got?
Good.
What are we feeling? I feel like that was a solid 8 at least.
I was going to say
Yeah,
8.5.
There was a moment of pause, you know,
Yeah.
but I think it was pretty smooth though.
I'll go with you. I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
It's Olympics time, so this is pretty important.
Oh yeah, we need our little like
Yeah,
school
wait,
card.
are you going to be
Emily,
the...
you have
are
to be
gonna
the hard judge.
Yeah, you're the doubter
yeah.
judge. Give him like a 6 or something.
The corrupt figure skating.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do watch a lot of figure skating.
Oh, no, I've learned more about figure skating from you than I ever knew was even existing about figure skating. I didn't know how in-depth.
I've learned more about figure skating from Emily than I wanted to.
I'm so sorry.
No, dude, I like hearing the corrupt stories of the figure skating mafia.
Oh
Anyway,
my
let's get
gosh.
back to the mid lane with Palafox and Jojo. As Palafox on that Trist, again, just the most small of a lead here, having a little bit of extra gold up over his opponent, who he's just going to walk on through, do the drive-by execution of the minion to guarantee that he gets a little bit of extra gold in his own pocket.
That was
I
graphic.
know.
Yeah,
Intense.
my job
Drive-by
as a commentator is to paint a picture in your mind, my friend.
You're very good at it.
Successfully made me feel bad for the minion there.
That's exactly.
I'm
That's what I'm trying to...
emotionally connected to the minion. But
Art evokes emotion, as Berserker is evoking the emotion of pain here against Huhi. He wants to hit another Mystic Shot, but he ain't going to find it. Blaber still prowling around here on this Nidalee. Does have a plus 20 farm lead in the jungle on top of the first blood money. Biggest gold lead in roll in the game.
And it's really the best thing here when you have Alistar picks too, to have a jungler like Nidalee, a head in experience to go roam around with. So Vulcan, we really highlighted him in the champion select, but just going to a little busy here. They're pushing. They're pushing.
Fine.
He's just trying to get him some prow here for Jojo as well. But those roams from the Alistar are going to be something they do have to keep track of later. That being said, because Huhi stuck around in lane, Huhi is actually the first support to level 6. So Rakan time as well must be respected. And remember, Berserker did have to use his cleanse, although he's Ezreal, so he's got a jump plus a flash.
And we do see Contractz setting up for a potential wraparound gang.
Okay.
He has ult up.
Yeah, he's not been seen yet. The wave is about to crash into the turret, and Vulcan is not here. Huhi's got the quickness, and he's going in. Berserker getting locked up. They time the Maokai ult nicely, and it's nice enough to get a kill. FBI flashing away there from the turret aggro that would have executed him. NRG, they get it done. They get it done without losing a man. Clean.
And this is exactly what we kind of want to see from NRG, right? Like being able to make these plays when they're able, either off of the pushing bot, off of Huhi being able to get 6. On the other side, though, it does look like C9 will be able to lock down that grub stacking.
And that's why they also go for a bottom, because they know Blaber is going to go up to those grubs. And so oftentimes junglers will, especially for solo queue, you're like, okay, if you're going to go for grubs, we know and we're going to make a bottom side play. I would still say, though, Blaber is really accelerating here. This Nidalee already fully completed Leandries for him, and it allows him to get a little bit of counter jungling afterwards, too. The thing about trading dragons for grubs is that the grubs give way more experience and gold than the dragons do, although, of course, the team buff and getting your bot lane fed for bot side ganks are always like the more 5-on-5 focused way to play, which is the Maokai strategy, which is the Maokai name of the game. So we're going to have a pretty fun matchup here as we get towards the mid game and do get to some of these team fights and see them use those big engage ults again.
Yeah, especially as you see duo lane in mid, Trist on the bot side. As C9 are coming around, I am curious to see this Drake setup. We have 8 seconds before Drake spawns.
Yeah, I like the rotation, having that Tristana bottom side on tower, getting some turret play money, but
Vulcan's already in, and FBI is under pressure. Remember, he already had to use the flash down there in the bottom lane dive, but now NRG's turning it right back around on C9. The Nidalee is gone, and Dhokla's coming in for a slicing maelstrom right on top of Vulcan. The cow is tanky, and he's tanky enough to live, but only a moment longer. They'll make it a 1-for-1 trade on the back end, but it's still a 2-for-1 play from the NRG boy.
super good peel there player from NRG. They know FBI is the target. He has no flash left, but he's got the barrier, and he's got 2 melees right in front of him. Huhi and Contractz go through. They collapse. They get the extra kills. It did allow some extra time for Thanatos up in topside to push out since Dhokla joined with his teleport. So now we have to look at where will Cloud9 use their teleport. But some extra kills here for the side of NRG. Let's see one more time here, because Vulcan goes straight for FBI because he has no flash. The ultimate from Berserker over the top as well.
Yeah,
and then
I was going to say Huhi going in, but the most important thing is landing everything onto Blaber. I believe Contractz is going to get a little bit tied up taking some extra turret shots there.
Oh, wait, hold on. We got Dhokla versus Thanatos up here on the top side, and Thanatos just solos him down. The Gnar is ready.
Yep, and C9 have the push on this turret. Might be able to get...
Uh-oh. All right,
I mean, big thing is they were able to take away that dragon and stop possible dragon stacking too. Now Jojo.
Ooh, Jojo getting knocked back there, but instead it's Jojo with the shuffle on both enemy players. Palafox and Huhi now trying to get one back, but Huhi's already down. Jojo gonna get healed up. The Nidalee doing enough to keep him alive, but it ain't gonna be enough at the end of the day. The arrow from downtown, count it. Blaber ain't getting away from that one, and Palafox got a double kill.
The FBI sniper! AShe arrow from mid lane, able to hit.
And the really cool thing, as we see the Palafox and Contractz quote from, I believe in an interview last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the big thing is, again, when we talk about these compositions, I said this is pure comfort from C9. Kobe, you pointed out how good this comp is with what C9 want to do, and more importantly, when they do engage in, the fact that they're able to reposition, get counter engage, and lock down, as we're going to see this solo kill go through again from Thanatos.
So Dhokla tried to reach him. He couldn't quite get to the Gnar. Look at those 2 stacks for so long, and Thanatos just walks him down. Really nice spacing there from Thanatos, and then here's a look at the other engage. Good flash from Jojo to get the 2 knock-in, but then Palafox just jumps right back out, so he stays pretty safe. Flashes in to finish off the tank Azir, even with the Nidalee heal. He gets it as Contractz arrive with the Maokai ultimate, sweeping through them.
Yeah, and then the AShe arrow comes in off the back of it. You just talk about what Maokai does.
Nice fucking arrow, bro.
True. Nice expletive deleted arrow.
No lies detected, but now we got another fight shaping up here in the topside river. NRG moving positions in to try to contest this Herald against C9.
Those fights really do matter, though, because every extra kill that you hand over to Palafox is going to be right into the win cons for NRG. They're built around a lot more team fights here. So when Tristana gets super fit, that will be a big issue. Currently, they are trying to bully Cloud9 away from the Rift Herald, but look at Thanatos. The Gnar is sneaking down the river. He has got no rage for his Gnar bar, though, so too dangerous, I would say.
Yep, Thanatos not being able to engage there means that NRG and Contractz are going to secure this Herald without a battle for it. Both of our mid laners are still split pushing here in the bottom side, 1v1. They both have teleport to join if a fight breaks out.
Yeah, and you see them matching each other in side lanes. But again, really, really nice stuff coming out of NRG. We wanted them to get more proactive. They've done a really good job of also responding to anything that C9 has thrown at them as of yet. And it's looking pretty good for them going into the mid-game.
Now, I think we're going to be really hyper-focused on vision for the mid-game for this setup in particular, since so much for NRG really does revolve around keeping members in the dark, so Cloud9 can't have Vulcan, headbutting Dhokla out like we saw really early on in the mid lane play, and also can alert themselves to when these AShe arrows are going to fire towards them, because that will be a big signal here that Huhi and Contractz are very short to follow, very, very close behind, and NRG are looking for the big play. So track that vision. As far as the setup does go for NRG, currently it's nice and easy for them to push on bottom side for Palafox.
Arrow fishing for Berserker, ain't gonna find him. It's not a pick even if they land it, but it does force the cleanse to be used.
And that ward right there that I'm talking about, the deeper wards, when you have vision of where an Ashe is going to fire the arrow from, it makes it really easy to dodge them out, especially for Ezreal's. And Berserker didn't even have to use anything there, but they still get the charge off for the Rift Herald on the side of NRG regardless.
Unfortunately, that charge is not enough to force down the tier 1 turret in mid, still hanging on with just a little bit of that HP here left. But guys, I'm going to be honest with you. 18 minutes into the game, this is a much better early game performance than I was expecting from NRG after that crazy series they had against Shopify last week. I think they're looking so much more coordinated.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is, again, they've gotten involved in plays early, even when it hasn't necessarily resulted as a kill. They've been able to trade stuff cross-map. And then here, now, as we see them setting up to have complete vision prio on this Drake, to hopefully be able to come in and start that stacking back up again.
Yeah, and Palafox and Dhokla are the two that scale the most aggressively on the side of NRG. You know, Ashe is pretty good, but not the highest DPS. A lot of utility there. So looking at the gold income for the NRG side laners is going to be quite big. Dhokla right now does have teleport and flash as Contractz is starting up this dragon. While Huhi is on a ward, it still seems like they should be able to get it because Cloud9 are going for mid lane prio first.
All right, C9 making their way down into the river now. NRG's taking their sweet time on this one, but the Maokai ulti can try to keep him away. Huhi was ready to try to intercept here with a quickness if needed, but now he needs to disengage. Jojo misses the Emperor's Divide. The counter arrow is going to set him up for an extra second. Thanatos and Vulcan now here on the front line as Dhokla needs to get away, but the soldiers put a spear in his back. It's 1 kill for nothing for C9 as NRG took the Drake. So that'll be the trade. Is there going to be any more fight? Berserker still seeming to look to force these guys back as Palafox and Contractz regroup underneath the tier 1 turret. C9 with a 5-man push. And NRG, yes, they got the objective, but it cost them a man.
Yeah, it cost them a man, and it is going to cost them this mid lane turret, as C9 should easily be able to take that, which is going to open up the map a lot for them, right? When we're talking about tracking this C9 team with vision, where is the poke coming from? Where is the Gnar or the shuffle going to come from? Thanatos or Jojo, respectively. So it's really, really good on them to not only be able to get the kill in this fight, but then open up mid lane.
And one of the main things we said for Cloud9, tracking the Kennen on the flank. So even though Jojo goes in for the Rakan and doesn't get him on the sweep back there, they just turn right back around. Blaber says, great, Dhokla's right here. Immediately, they destroy him. So good heads-up play there from Cloud9, just going right at the Kennen, and they chunk him out so early because this is a high-damage, low-survivability Kennen. It's not easy to play. You have to have a good teleport and a good flash. Make every second count on this champion because you have a high damage output, but you have no defense to survive on. And if the rest of the NRG squad are not here and you're not full committing to a fight with your flash going in, getting the big stuns along with the CC, then looks like that. And they get the Kennen kill and they got the objective afterwards, which, as you mentioned, you know, mid lane tower is so pivotal in these situations.
And you could see what Dhokla was thinking there because of the fact that the shuffle was already down. The Maokai ulti went out though, and remember that it was all blocked up by the Alistar. They didn't know where everybody else was, so Blaber caught him off guard, but now it's Blaber getting caught off guard a little bit as NRG's got to try to regroup. Vulcan has found the flank and he knocks up too. Jojo makes his entrance and he shuffles NRG right back to the waiting arms of C9, but now they've managed to regroup in their own right. The Sun Disc is summoned up, so NRG can't go any further forward. Thanatos is charging the Gnar bar, but he can't close the gap in time.
And nobody does, but they get mid turret.
We're chilling.
Mid turret and a bunch of summoner spells as well. You know, no flash for FBI, no barrier either. The Ashe now is going to be a big target Cloud9 will be looking for. Thanatos, of course, you know, the Gnar flash is also almost equally as big for those really big Gnar moments when you can have the game-changing ultimates to crush them against the wall. So now we're really looking at the few who still have their flashes up on the side of NRG, some big engaged opportunities, but they also require that vision control so you can get the flanks. You know, the Rakan and the Kennen have the potential to be very big, but if, you know, Vulcan's there and he's got eyeballs on you, the bouncer can keep you out. You mentioned Flowers too. Jojo, a bit of a bouncer himself in some of these situations, and Dhokla and Huhi are going to have to come up with a way to get in.
NRG with control over the top side river, trying to make sure that Cloud9 does not claw that back from them. Sweeping out some vision here with the control wards, taking care of those C9 bastions of vision here as another spear flies out. That one's not going to find Palafox. Blaber with the 2 fully completed items here. Leandri's plus the Horizon. If he hits one of those max range spears, it's gonna hurt, but not as bad as Jojo got hurt right there. Another beautiful catch coming out from NRG to lock up the C9 mid laner, kill him without even having to lose any health on anybody. And now Palafox is gonna grab the tier 1 turret top.
Yeah, they're going to grab that tier 1 turret. They may end up, yeah, they are going to go for this Baron.
No, Ashe or Kennen ultimate, both used to kill Jojo there. So Cloud9 are thinking maybe they can outplay.
Yeah, we got Huhi coming in from the side, though. He wants to go for the quickness. He misses Berserker. The Maokai ulti going to try to keep him away, but Vulcan's got a 3-man knockup. The cow is in the back, but there's nobody else around him. There's no damage to back up the CC. NRG's going to grab the kill and try to get back away. Blaber, Thanatos, and Berserker cannot get any back. NRG, they escape without losing anyone, but their health bars are compromised. Now the 3-man C9 squad is back on the Baron. Jojo is alive, but he has no TP. He has to walk all the way back into the Baron pit. Blaber and Berserker do a lot of damage to this objective, but now Thanatos might find himself caught. He's going to be in the middle of 4 players from NRG, and Thanatos will not get away. A shutdown back for Palafox, and now the pendulum swings back to the NRG direction, and we're staring at a paw.
Cloud9 did not have vision of Palafox.
A really big tool for them as well if...
Oh, we're in.
Yo, we're back.
Okay,
we're resetting.
So they are going...
Oh, we're going home.
It looks like they'll probably reset then for the Dragon, because they could get Dragon Soul Point here. Number 3, it would be for the side of NRG. And looks like they're going to keep Dhokla, push one more wave. The Kennen will also reset, so a lot of fresh purchases here on the side of NRG as they get right back out. Easy Scuttle Crab and start to the Dragon for them. Looks like they'll just rush it down.
Yep. There's really no reason for C9 to try to contest this since it's not Soul, since Thanatos is dead. There's just not a whole lot.
There's no way the lag affected the recalls.
I'm going back to Twitch chat to find Jat. Jat, what happened? Where are you at? Jat.
Jat, also ask him.
The info before we do.
Ask him if he found out if Raz took his jacket or not.
Oh yeah. Whose jacket did Raz
heard the
steal?
discussion. I heard your discussion on the waiting room there. Pog Goda moment.
Everybody's spamming huh, so Raz is probably in the chat too. Raz, do you know?
Yes.
Yeah, Raz always says weird stuff. We got to make sure that we keep an eye on
Yeah,
Raz.
make sure you censor yourself if you're reading Raz lines.
Yeah, that's very important. Friends don't let friends blindly walk into Raz comments not knowing what they were looking for. Be a friend. Help your friends.
Alternatively, you can just...
Raz, man.
Raz.
Okay, wait. I have an update. I have a serious update.
How does he even pass the filter saying
Clear
that?
comms. Clear.
Okay.
Clear comms. I have an actual important update here. This is a real issue. Contractz now cannot see health bars of Baron or Dragon. And since they're doing Dragon, that definitely will affect your gameplay. And they got the pause down now. I'm glad, because if we had a moment where like Berserker stole Dragon, with Ezreal, his ultimate's on cooldown right now, a couple seconds, but if he stole it with like Ezreal Q or Ezreal ultimate, and then Contractz paused and he's like, I can't see the health bars, people would be way less inclined to believe. And so we got the pause down now. We'll fix the health bar issue so that he can use his smite accordingly.
I wish I could smite Raz from this chat. Raz, where are you? All right, no, hold on. We got a couple of more spams.
Yeah, you got to call him out so that he pops up like whack-a-mole, and then you can smite him.
Oh, yeah. No, that would be fun. That'd be cool.
I am surprised I got through the filter.
Yeah, I know. Raz has some kind of like Twitch chat cheat code.
Superpower.
No, there, he said it again. That's twice now. Mods.
All right, what about this, though? Because this game's actually pretty close.
Are you guys even there?
Let's bet on who's going to win the game. Let's get.
What are we betting?
Well, let's not bet. Let's have chat. Let's have chat.
Just because
let's have chat
win
just say.
A spicy challenge.
Let's have chat just say who they think is going to win at this point, because this is a critical point. NRG are about to get third Dragon, and as we have time now, who do you think is going to actually win this game? The gold is very close still, but I would say NRG again. I really do like their team fight, like their team comp. So 3 dragons. When you get that dragon too, it's like the pressure to draw the enemy team towards a like smaller area. And this NRG team definitely benefits if Cloud9 are in a smaller area. We'll see if Vulcan can track again the engagers though.
Exactly, man. Being able to force your opponent into a neutral objective fight when you have Kennen, especially when Kennen has teleport and flash, super scary stuff for C9. We'll see how they handle that moving forward as Blaber tries to reestablish control over the top side route.
They also have the exhaust button ready, so you can try and headbutt him out. You can try and definitely get the exhaust down if he's getting through. Those are the types of things that you look for.
Yeah, as we see C9 kind of setting up in mid and getting vision down at Baron. With it being this Chemtech soul, right? What do we think about leveraging that soul for Baron in this game specifically?
Well, did y'all watch any Europe this morning? Because we
I did, actually.
We learned what happens when
I saw
you trade
Mundo.
souls for Barons. And there was also this little
G2
series.
wins? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. If they try to go for a Baron for soul trade, both G2 and Shopify both join the game, and we can become a 4v4 brawl.
Yeah, last weekend when NRG were playing Shopify, both times the team that got Dragon Soul lost.
Yeah.
Is it cursed?
Dragon Soul is bad for you, apparently.
This is Chemtech Soul, and people love hating on Chemtech Soul. So I think they'll probably be saying yes, that it is.
Just go for Baron.
Well, that Soul Dragon for NRG will be spawning here still more than 3 minutes until it's up. So C9's going to continue their focus on this top side of the map, on this Baron pit instead.
I also want to highlight, because we're at this breakpoint where if you look at the top, you might be a little bit deceived on gold, but teleport play onto Palafox.
Okay, they want Palafox here with Jojo and Thanatos looking to get it done. However, Palafox standing and fighting. Thanatos still going after him. Palafox with a disengage. He's burning to Leandries. It will not kill him off on its own, but he's running straight for enemy territory. He's healing up off of minions. Palafox is still fighting. He jumps back away from the soldiers. He nearly makes it a 1-for-1, but not quite there.
He was feeling himself almost in the 2v1 because, look, he has 3 items completed to JoJo's 2, but even the extra item is not enough to allow him to win that 2v1. Although it was very close, so close to the point that everyone's going to go back and be like, wow, look at this little click here. If he had done this better, then maybe he could have actually pulled it off. In the end, though, very big news for Cloud9 as they're able to get that shutdown.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he also levels up here.
Now, let's see. He's dumping damage into Thanatos, and then once JoJo arrives, the flash is pretty good.
Yeah. And then jumps out.
He hits,
he's going to hit level 16 off of this wave here as he's healing up.
Yeah, he didn't fully respect the Thanatos jump back in. And he's able to get enough. But so much healing off those minions, almost then able to get enough DPS in the end there to go head-to-head with the tank Azir. But close does not cut it. So some extra money here back for JoJo. He desperately needed it, by the way. That's going to get him to the Seeker's Arm Guard in inventory to allow him, for the sake of Cloud9, hopefully a defensive button here that he can use in time so he doesn't get blown up again.
We are posturing around vision again.
All right.
Thanatos is pushing up bot lane, though. That should give C9 a really nice point of pressure, as NRG has actually started the Baron.
Yeah, Palafox is still really ahead. He's really ahead. He's really fed. They are burning through it. It's going to require the teleport.
Okay, Dhokla, keep your eyes on him. Baron down to about 1/3 HP, but C9 still looking for their angle. Dhokla is looking to take the long way around, but he is going to walk over top of Vision, even if he tries to do it. The Baron's down to 3,000 HP. Cloud9's already making their engage. Dhokla isn't here yet. He finally finds his way into the back. He's got Berserker, but C9's already found multiple players on NRG. C9 get their fight, and they do it right. Contractz, the only one left still standing, but Vulcan ready to lock him up and take him down. They ride the blast cone over the wall here with them, and Blaber is on the hunt. Contractz just trying to waste their time, but Blaber doesn't mind it one bit. It's an ace plus a Baron for C9.
It's an ace. They're barreling down mid now. This is great for C9. And when that team fight came, it was C9 coming out on top, even with Dhokla actually being able to get the flank and get off a pretty good Kennen ult.
He was too slow, though, and Cloud9 with the Baron buff here, they're threatening to end the game.
They just want to end. Huhi's the only guy alive. He can't even stop the minion wave. The Nexus turrets are just evaporating. C9, all they needed was the one fight up there with the Baron, and now they're looking to take this game. 30 minutes in, 12-9. C9 takes the first one.
It's all about timing, and Dhokla and NRG were a little bit too slow on that Baron play. You have to applaud Cloud9. They knew they didn't have seconds to waste in this Baron contest, so they saw Dhokla, they push him out to a really long path, and then they just go straight in for the engage. So by the time the Kennen got there, it was too late, and they had jumped on the NRG members that were inside the pit. Those extra couple of seconds in a team fight at the very beginning, enough for them to just annihilate NRG inside the pit.
All right, game number 1 is wrapped. A reminder, Fantasy LCS is